The first match, I got to be honest, and I know because I saw your tweet that you were shocked and felt the same way. This was the best Chris Jericho match in recent memory. And how long's it been since we've seen something with Jericho that actually this worked and did what it was supposed to do?
I think it was probably the best Jericho match in AEW, even taking like the title match with Cody, whatever you want to say from the early days. I think this was the best match from Jericho in AEW, the best Jericho match in years, actually, in my opinion.
Do you think it was because the first move of the match, Eddie suplexed him right on top of his head and woke him up?
I think it's because he didn't work a Jericho match. It was something different. It was an Eddie Kingston style match more than a Jericho style match.
Yeah. And that can happen. That, it was Davey Richards and Michael Elgin in Florida WrestleMania weekend in 2012. One of the pay-per-views that Go Fight Live threw off the air for us. But no, the match, everybody went crazy over it that was actually able to see it later on. And they said it was the match of the year, and that's when people were demanding that Michael Elgin be the Ring of Honor champion, and et cetera, et cetera. And if you go back and look at it, for the first 10 minutes, it was a regular match that they would have. I'm not saying that's bad, but there was nothing, stunning or outstanding about it. And all of a sudden, they did some kind of suplex spot off the top rope. And they both almost landed on their heads and killed themselves, and they popped up, and it woke the people and them up. And the next 10 minutes was the goddamnest thing you ever seen in your life. And by the time it was over with, they're throwing the babies in the air, right? But sometimes that can, and this happened right off the bat with Jericho and Kingston. But he sold it, but he was still okay, and Eddie was all over him, and obviously Kingston was the babyface with this crowd, and they're chanting, "Fuck him up, Eddie." Blah, blah, blah. So Jericho went with it. I mean, that was where they were trying to point the people anyway with the buildup on this. But as soon as he turns the tables on Kingston and he gives the crowd the finger, and they traded the chops and they had a stiff fight, Jericho goes to the eyes. I'm looking at my notes now, and I just realized he undid a turnbuckle pad. They never did anything with it, did they?
Oh, I don't remember it now.
That's right.
I forgot about that.
He just took the turnbuckle pad off, but I don't think they ever did anything with the turnbuckle. And referee Aubrey just sits there and looks at it anyway. The suplex off the apron to the floor by Jericho on Kingston, I was surprised at both those. I was surprised Jericho went for it more than Kingston. I got to say, Eddie doesn't need muscles. His gimmick is he's the fucking crazy mechanic down the street, but he should keep his top up. It looks better. Did you see when Jericho went for the lion salt, Eddie knew he was too far out, and he tried to scooch in on his ass for it, and Jericho he didn't completely miss him, but he almost blistered him with his knees. But anyway, they had, as you said, it was an Eddie Kingston match rather than the same thing that Jericho always does. And finally, they went for some false finishes. Jericho went for the Judas. Eddie ducked, 2 back fists, a stretch plum, and a tap out. To the biggest win of Kingston's career, the right finish to do. It was a heck of a fight. And as we said, the best Jericho match maybe that he's done in AEW, because it was what it needed to be, and it was different. And then the end of the deal with the handshake, it was a simple heel turn, but they booed the fuck out of Jericho when Eddie smartass walked over there and stuck his hand out because Jericho had said, if you can beat me, I'll shake your hand and tell you I respect you. But of course you can't do that. So Kingston sticks his hand out and Jericho looks at him and blows him off and leaves. And people, if he had concertoed him 5 times, the people wouldn't have booed Jericho any more than if he just walked off and refused the handshake. So start to finish, that was a great way to start the day.
Fantastic opener. Best Jericho match. I've killed him when his stuff is the worst and his bad stuff is the worst. His stuff the last few weeks and this match has been great. Hope it continues. If he really wants to, here's the interesting challenge. And Jericho seems committed to what he's doing. If you're going to be a heel, how are you going to come out and have them not sing that song? That's the only thing. No matter what he does, they're all about that song. They're singing it. But it doesn't matter if Jericho's there or not. It doesn't matter if he's a heel or babyface. How do you get to come out to that song without them singing it? I don't know if it's possible now.
What about if they were just to play a track of his vocal without the music?
Oh my God.
You just hear him singing it, but there's no music to really get him into it. And then it would be annoying and irritating.
I like that idea. Hopefully they do that.
That would be a thing they could make him heel with.
And it's really cool to see Eddie Kingston get the biggest win of his career in a hot opener on this show against Jericho. Some would say this was, maybe the second best match on the show. Can't say anything bad about it. I loved it. I thought it was great. The commentating sucked, but it sucked show-wide, and those three sucked together. I dare someone to find Tony Schiavone say anything that requires a brain. He just screams out nothing nonstop throughout the show. He sucks, but other than that, great opening match.
Actually, Tony and Excrement were starting, I noticed it in the Wardlow business later on. They are starting to know things that they shouldn't know unless they're mind readers or have the power of seeing 5 or 10 seconds ahead. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, or they have Tony Khan in their headset, yes.
Well, yeah, but they're saying things that are not apparent to the viewer, like that they've picked up on them, and then they should wait 10 or 15 seconds for the thing to actually happen before they pick up on it.